Good Morning America is brought to you by Pfizer.
CBS Health Watch sponsored by Pfizer.
Anderson Cooper 360. Brought to you by Pfizer.
ABC News Nightline. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Making a difference. Brought to you by Pfizer.
CNN Tonight. Brought to you by Pfizer. Early Start. Brought to you by Pfizer. Friday night on Aaron Burnett Out Front. Brought to you by Pfizer.
This Week with George Stephanopoulos is brought to you by Pfizer.
This weather report brought to you by Pfizer.
Today's countdown to the royal wedding is brought to you by Pfizer.
And now a CBS Sports Update brought to you by Pfizer.
Meet the Press Data Download brought to you by Pfizer.
This portion of CBS This Morning sponsored by Pfizer.
On how to find the hidden sugars in the American family diet. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Now, I have to be very careful with what I say. I want you to do something. Now, do it on your own time. Go in with a clear head. And listen to this. Go to your Google or your search tab. And I want you to type in died suddenly. Then I want you to go to news. And just for, let's go to past week. You're seeing a disturbing trend that I'm not sure we're supposed to talk about, and I'm going to be very careful with how I word this and say this, because there's something going on and it's all over the place, but it's being suppressed. Does that make sense? Now, I got to be honest. I said it before with the Paul Pelosi story, and I do have an update coming on that. But I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Like, you're not going to try to label me, as this MAGA fucking right wing conspiracy theory type. I'm all about common sense. And right now, something's going on with those jabs, and numbers are starting to come out. And you can't believe what you've been hearing. People are dropping like flies, just passing out. There's these disturbing images of these blood clots. In fact, let me play this clip for you. Thanks for watching. Please take your time out, like the video, subscribe. Us YouTubers these days, when we do videos like this, they tend to ruffle feathers, and YouTube likes to try to strike you down, saying, it's misinformation, even if you approach it like myself and say, you know what, I'm just, doing some research, but this shit look funny. Thanks for watching.
But there's a very strong pathology group out of Germany, which is analyzing all of this. And I've seen their slides. And the slides show this incredible, what they call lymphocytic reaction, lymphocytosis reaction to the vaccine. This is only to the vaccine that they're looking at. The entire lymphatic system, lymphocytosis system of your body, all the lymphocytes, they're driven crazy by the presence of what's on this vaccine. And they're driven so crazy that they start tearing into the spleen, or tearing into the wall of the aorta, or tearing into the kidney, doing ridiculous things to multiple organs. And the dead people, and believe me, these are dead people that the pathologists are looking at. Some of the dead people have horrific lymphocytic changes in their brain. Some, it's the heart. Some, it's the aorta. Some, it's the spleen. Some, it's ovaries. Horrific changes in the ovaries and the reproductive systems of women. And it's horrible to look at under the microscope. And this, again, is in vaccine-treated people who have died suddenly. And these changes, these lymphocytosis changes, have never been seen before of this type and in multiple organs of this type. This has never been seen before. This is what these expert pathologists say. This only came out in 2021 and only in vaccinated deceased people. The other thing that they've never seen before, and this is quite different than a lymphocytosis damaging your aorta or other organs. or your brain. This is a stringy clotting of your arteries. It's normal post-mortem to find some clots in veins. It's not any number of diseases can cause you to die and to have a certain kind of pooling of blood and have some clots in your veins. To have clots in your arteries virtually never happens. To have actual clots in your actual arteries of your body, which are the high pressure vessels leaving your heart, going out, and which you can't afford to cut because you'll bleed to death in 2 minutes if you cut a major artery. Well, arteries don't have clots in them.
So, now I get it. I understand how it works. People are going to be like, why are you spreading this around? And, I got vaxxed and nothing happened to me. But there are confirmed reports that there's some stuff going on. Now, we're not seeing it on TV, but the news stories are out there as being, what I feel is being suppressed. Come on, and I'm asking you, do your own research. Oh, isn't that like how we get clowned when people say, you one of them, do your own research, listen to the science. The science ain't been right. People still can get jabbed up, half dozen times, close to half dozen times, and you can still get it. Now, there is members of my family who got jabbed. I'm not. I was in a coma for respiratory failure back in 2018. I was in a coma for about a month, 3 weeks, a little over 3 weeks. Breathing tube. I had a rare ECMO procedure. And I had some blood clots. So basically, I was on blood clotting medication for a while. But, I can get blood clots. Now, I've been watching and researching. I just don't, listen, I'm a 39-year-old man, YouTuber. I'm a home, health aid care manager, father of a 8-year-old girl, 7-year-old girl trying to start a father's advocacy group. I cover boxing. I'm not no scientist or anything, but I do have common sense. And when you go look, if you dig, you don't even have to dig deep because it's starting to bubble to the surface. When you go check out, do some research, these blood clots, man, they killing people. And me, I could never, bring myself to be like, oh, the government, why are they pushing this? We never seen, them push something like this so hard, But at the end of the day, I'm asking you, think for yourself. So you may say, oh, okay, well, people die suddenly all the time, but not like this. Like it's happening. Not like this. And the stories are going on and on. And you're hearing about young people, or how about people just passing out, on air. Even celebrities, things happening too. Like this is some crazy shit.
Her 18-year-old son died of sudden cardiac arrest. State Health Department data shows more than 2,900 Minnesotans died of sudden cardiac arrest in 2021. But only a small fraction, 25 people, were between the ages of 15 and 24. Richard Reeve has more on the life of Zachary Light and what you can do to protect your child's health.
The good old days.
For Tara and Jason Light, this has been a difficult year.
You hear about sudden cardiac arrest, but I didn't know that it would affect me.
A time of pain, loss, and many questions after the sudden death of their son, Zachary.
You're not only losing your child, but when they die in your lap, it's tough.
Family photos and videos show a fun-loving 18-year-old.
You just wouldn't understand at all.
Nicknamed Zach, or just Z. But on January 7th, he started feeling ill and disoriented. 2 days later, it got worse.
He ended up getting sick, just vomiting occasionally. He got himself dressed and he walked to the car.
The Lights began driving Zachary to urgent care on 694 near their New Brighton home. Tara recalls looking in the back seat, seeing her son's eyes roll back,
it was 3 minutes later that he had passed in the car, and I provided the CPR and called 911.
The lights say paramedics arrived in minutes, that a medical team at Children's Minnesota worked on Saturday.
And you're seeing this, like, you know, and I understand, you know, there are people that you can convince. You know, God rest her soul, but if my grandmother was still alive, she wouldn't believe none of this. She's one of those people, like, when the news or the doctors tell you something, you know, you got to believe them. But it's starting to bubble over to the top, like is bubbling over. I'm telling you right now. And it's not even being hidden. It's just, it's not being reported to you mainstream. But people are passing out and they're dropping like flies at a rate that it's never happened before. I'm going to follow this story. But just Google, Twitter search, Instagram, Facebook, the terms "died suddenly" and see what you come up with and start making your own conclusion. And then take a look at those creepy blood clots. Like, it's weird. By the way, take your time out, like the video, subscribe. I'm T-Street Controversy with Fight View 360. I am watching the election day coverage here, closing out the day at 11:48 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Follow me on Twitter at T-Street Controversy. Thanks for watching.